Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for our today's digital session for the subject Science and Technology Section A. Yesterday, we have completed with echo and reverberation from chapter number 12, Study of Sound. Also, we have seen how the ultrasonic sound waves or ultrasound, how it is applied in sonar technique and sonography. Today we are going to learn about the last topic related to sound. It is the last topic but very important because we are going to learn about the concepts of human ear, and you all know that it is the only sensory organ due to which we can experience sound around us. Then we are going to proceed towards the discussion of textual exercise for this chapter, and hence initially I request all of you to be present for this session with a textbook and a pencil. Let us now discuss the concepts related to human ear. Now, you all know that human ear is the important sensory organ due to which sound around us can be heard by you. We can hear the sounds because of our ear. When the sound waves from the environment, they fall on the eardrum, it vibrates, and these vibrations, they are converted into the electrical signals which travel to our brain through the different nerves, and hence we are going to study about its structure today. The human ear is divided into three parts. The first part is the outer ear, the next part is your middle ear, and the third part is the inner ear. Here you come to know that the human ear, we are talking about human ear, it is divided in three parts: outer ear or the pinna. Outer ear is also called as the pinna, the middle ear and the inner ear. Now we will see its functions, its composition one by one. The outer ear or the pinna, its main function is to collect the sound waves, and after collecting the sound waves, it passes them through a tube to a cavity in the middle ear. Collection of sound waves and then passing the sound waves through a tube to the middle ear. Its peculiar funnel-like shape, you can see its shape, it helps to collect and pass the sounds into the middle ear. So very important function of the outer ear, collection of sounds from the environment and passing it to the middle ear. Now let us move towards the middle ear. There is a thin membrane in the cavity of the middle ear. It is also called as the eardrum. You can see here the eardrum in slight purple color. Now when a compression of the sound wave, it reaches this eardrum, the pressure outside it increases and it gets pushed inwards. And the exact opposite thing happens when a rarefaction reaches there. The pressure outside it will decrease and the membrane gets pulled outwards, and thus the sound waves, they cause the vibrations of the membrane. I have told you middle ear, there is a thin membrane which is known as the eardrum. Now let us move towards the last part of the ear, that is the inner ear. Here the auditory nerve. Why auditory nerve? Because you are hearing something related to audition. So the nerve is called as auditory nerve. It connects the inner ear to your brain. The function of the auditory nerve is to connect your inner ear to the brain. The inner ear has a structure resembling the shell of a snail. You know how a snail appears. It is called the cochlea. Here you can see the cochlea appearing like the snail. The main function of the cochlea is receiving the vibrations coming from the membrane. The vibrations which are coming from the membrane, they are received by the cochlea and converting these vibrations into the electrical signals. In the very first part, I had told you that the vibrations are converted into electrical signals which travel to the brain through the nerves. So here it is the cochlea which converts this vibrations which are coming from the membrane into the electrical signals, and then they are sent to the brain through the nerve. And what does the brain do? It analyzes the signals and then we can hear the sound. Now you can see it is a very important question, a brief question, wherein different types of questions can be asked on this part. One is draw a neat label diagram of human ear, or with the help of a neat label diagram, explain the different aspects or concepts related to human ear. So these are the different types of question. Now you will be very much worried looking at the diagram and the n number of labelings. Will be very clear. Take a pencil in your hand and I will tell you, out of so many labels which are given, the important ones only you are going to label. You are going to label outer ear or pinna. Then you will label eardrum, middle ear, inner ear and cochlea and the auditory canal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 labels you are going to label when you draw the diagram in your notebook, as well as if it is asked in the exam. You all know that maximum marks allotted for a diagram are 3. And how the marks are given I have told you. So for 3 marks, at least 4 labels are expected and 1 mark is for scientific correct diagram. So out of that 4 labels, I have given you 6. So 6, why I have given you? Because all the 6 are very important. See, outer ear, middle ear, inner ear, these 3 are very important. Cochlea, eardrum and auditory canal. I hope you have followed the different parts of the human ear. It is a very important sensory organ and hence it is told to us that sticks or other pointed objects should never be inserted into the ear for cleaning it. Also, we should not hear very loud music using earphones. Nowadays, it has become a trend of the young generation. They continuously put the earphones in their ears, which may cause grave injury to the eardrum because it is a very thin membrane. So it has a particular, you can say, capacity to accept the intensity or frequency of sound. So continuously, if you are hammering your eardrum with the earphones, the noise, the sound which will be emitted from it, it is going to cause injury. It is going to damage your eardrum, and you all know that somewhere the inner ear is connected to the brain, so it can have adverse effects on the functioning of your brain also, and hence you should have a control. It is not told that you should not use the earphones because it is the need of the hour, but how to keep a check on it, how to have a control on it, that is in your hands. With this, I declare that the explanation along with the revision of topics which we have studied right from the beginning of the chapter is over. Now we proceed towards the textual exercise. We begin with question number 1. Fill in the blanks and explain. Here you don't only have to fill in the blanks, you have to explain. So 1 or 2 I will just explain for you. The other 2 you have to write the explanation on your own. First one, sound does not travel through dash, that is vacuum. In the very first paragraph, you have seen that always a medium is necessary for the propagation of sound. So sound does not travel through vacuum. For the explanation, all of you refer page number 128. I will mark for you page number 128, the very first paragraph. There you can see the second line. It is in the form of waves. There you can write sound travels in the form of waves. A medium is necessary for the propagation of sound waves. It cannot travel through vacuum. I hope all of you have marked it. Now we move towards the next fill up. Number B. The velocity of sound in steel is greater than the velocity of sound in water? Answer is greater. Now you might be wondering that velocity of sound in steel is greater why than the velocity of sound in water. What concept you are going to apply over here? How you are going to provide with the explanation? For the explanation, refer page number 129, the last paragraph about the orange block. In that paragraph, they have provided you with the explanation that velocity is highest in solids and least in gases. Then what about liquids? You can see that entire table of comparison of the velocities of sound in different substances: solids, liquids, gases. I hope you can see the table on page number 129, and there you can see that the speed of sound in solids is greater than the speed of sound in liquid. So here it is steel, here it is water. So where it will be greater? It will be greater in in steel. So your explanation should be the velocity of sound is highest in solids as compared to liquids, and hence its velocity in steel is greater than that in water. Your explanation should be very short and precise. Now you have understood how to give the explanation. Accordingly, for the other two fill-ups, you are going to write the explanation in your own words. We move to the next fill-up, number C. The incidence of dash in daily life shows that the velocity of sound is less than the velocity of light. Lightning, which you experience before raining. That lightning is a good incidence in your daily life, which shows that the velocity of sound is less than the velocity of light. And the last fill-up is to discover a sunken ship or objects deep inside the sea. Dash technology is used. Very, very simple. You know, sonar technique. We have studied its uses. It is used to determine the depth of the sea. It is used to search underwater hills, valleys, submarines, sunken ships. So here they have told about a sunken ship or objects deep inside the sea. So how you are going to provide with the explanation? Sonar technique, which makes use of a transmitter and receiver. It transmits the ultrasonic waves and the receiver receives the deflected waves, and from the calculations this technology is used to discover a sunken ship or objects. In this way you are going to provide precise explanation and in very short lines. Why? I have told you in the very beginning that for a fill up you have maximum 1 mark. If it is without the explanation whatever, so half mark will be for explanation. So according to the half mark you should decide how much to write. With this we finish with question number 1. Now without wasting time, let us move towards the next question. Explain giving scientific reasons. Scientific reason is the backbone of science. You know, whenever any discovery is made in science, whenever anything is invented in science, it should explain all the different related points, the reasoning. So give reason is a very important part of science, not only the science but also your examination. I have told you the quality of the paper is decided on how you reason the give reasoning part. Give reasons are separate, asked as a separate question in science paper. So be very you can say alert in this question. The roof of a movie theater and conference hall is curved. The roof of a movie theater and a conference hall is curved. Now here you know you are going to apply the concept of reverberation. So all of you move to page number 133 to mark the answer. Page number 133, the very first paragraph, there very first line you have first point. Sound waves get reflected from the walls and roof of a room multiple times. This causes a single sound to be heard not only once but continuously. This is called reverberation. Or in short, where roof of the room is involved, there you can write the definition of reverberation. That should be your first point, because our main concept is why that roof is curved. So the first point is that reverberation. What is reverberation? And to avoid that reverberation, you are going to make the roof curved. So first point, in your own words, you should write about reverberation. Next, some auditoriums or some particular seats in an auditorium have inferior sound reception. You can see in the same paragraph, page number 133, second last line. Some auditoriums or some particular seats in an auditorium, they have inferior sound reception. I hope you are marking carefully. Point number 1 is the first point, first line on page number 133 up to reverberation. Second point is the second last line of the first paragraph. Now third point you have to write in your own words, the main reasoning part. Therefore, the roof of a movie theater and a conference hall is curved so that sound, after reflecting from the roof, it reaches all the parts of the hall. To improve the quality of the sound, and main is to avoid reverberation. To avoid reverberation is the main part of the answer. And what is that reverberation? That should be mentioned as the first point. Both the points are very, very important. Now this is the answer which I have given you from my side. If you try to apply logic and science from this reverberation topic, you can form your own answer also. Not necessarily whatever I have given, that same thing you have to write. I have seen your assessment, second online assessment. Maximum of the students have just written the answers which I have given, word to word. Don't do that. You apply your own logic. Next, question number 2b. The intensity of reverberation is higher in a closed and empty house. The intensity of reverberation is higher in a closed and empty house. In a closed and empty house, you know there is no furniture, there are no curtains to absorb the excess sound. So surely the reverberation will be higher over there. So your first point should be, the reason for reverberation is multiple reflection of sound. First is, what is the main reason for reverberation? The main reason is multiple reflection of sound. So if a house is closed and empty, there is no furniture. You can also add, there are no curtains. Closed and empty house means curtains and all also will not be there. So there will be no furniture which will act as sound absorbing material, and hence the intensity of reverberation is higher in a closed and empty house. Very, very simple. First point, see, always you know that give reasons carry 2 marks. So at least 2 points should be there. More than 2 points. See, sometimes what happens, in 2 points, the main reasoning part is not completed. Then you should not look at the number of points. Even if you require 3 points, 4 points, you should complete the entire reasoning in your answer. So never ask how many points teacher we have to write. Minimum, I will tell you, minimum 2 points are necessary. Third point, hence reflection of sound will be maximum, due to which the intensity of reverberation is higher. As there is no furniture which will act as sound absorbers, so reflection of sound will be maximum over there, and hence intensity of reverberation will be higher. So in 3 points, I have covered the entire answer. I hope you have followed. Last, we cannot hear the echo produced in a classroom. I have told you when I had explained the topic of echo, whenever teacher teaches anything in the class, whenever you give the answers in the class, echo is not produced. Why? So here the mentioning of conditions for an echo to be heard, that should be your first point. So the condition is, to hear a distinct echo, the minimum distance of the reflecting surface from the source of sound should be 17.2 meters, which is not maintained in the classroom. For point number 1, you will get on page number 132, last paragraph, above the green block. Point number 1, you can mark on page number 132, above the green block, last paragraph, first line. To hear a distinct echo, the minimum distance of the reflecting surface from the source of sound should be 17.2 meter, From this part you have to add, which is not maintained in the classroom. Is the distance 17.2 meters in the classroom? No. That minimum distance condition is not satisfied in the classroom. Also, there are benches in the class which are sound absorbing materials. Hence, echo of the sound is prevented. You do not hear the echo. Sometimes you see, you go in a very close and empty house, your voice, you feel that your voice is echoing. There is some echo of your voice. But in the class, there are benches, there are curtains. The minimum distance of 17.2 meters is not satisfied, and hence you do not hear the echo in the classroom. With this, we have completed with question number 2. Now let us move towards question number 3. Answer the following questions in your own words. Here you can use the concept from the textbook. The first is very simple, direct answer from the textbook. What is an echo? What factors are important to get a distinct echo? It can be asked for 5 marks. 1 mark is for the definition of echo and the other 4 marks are for factors. All of you keep the same page, page number 132. I will first give you the answer for the first part of the question, what is an echo. You can see on page number 132, under the heading of echo, second paragraph is your first point. An echo is the repetition of the original sound because of reflection by some surface. So you have answered the first part of the question. Now it is not necessary that whatever definition of echo is given in the textbook, that same you have to write. That day we had discussed different definitions, and echo is a sound that is repeated because the sound waves are reflected back. Very, very simple. Okay, any definition you can give over here. Now the factors. For marking the factors, first statement should be factors important to get a distinct echo. Next paragraph on that page, fourth line. At 22 degrees Celsius, the velocity of sound in air is 344 meters per second. Continue marking. Point number B. Our brain retains a sound for 0.1 second. Thus, for us to be able to hear a distinct echo, the sound should take more than 0.1 second after starting from the source to get reflected and come back to us. Continue marking. C. For C, go to the next paragraph over there. Distance is equal to speed multiplied by time, that is equal to 344 meters per second multiplied by 0.1 second, that is equal to 34.4 meters. Point D, next paragraph. Thus, to hear a distinct echo, the reflecting surface from should be at a minimum distance of half of the above, that is 17.2 meter. Last paragraph. Continue marking. As the velocity of sound depends on the temperature of air, this distance depends on the temperature. I hope you have marked very carefully. In the first part, we have answered what is echo, and then I have given you all the 5 points in marking in the textbook. Write it very properly, the formula, the units and all, everything should be written very carefully. Now you can see very simple over here, meter per second, that is meter upon second, multiply by this second. So second and second will get cancelled off and the unit is meter. So all these small things should be known by you. Don't just mug up and write it. So when you just understand and write, then you are very thorough. Now the next question is question number 3B. Study the construction of the Gol Gumat at Vijapur and discuss the reasons for the multiple echoes produced there. This question is omitted because it is from the omitted part of your syllabus, page number 132. Same page, you can see that science in the surroundings about the Gol Gumat at Karnataka, that part they have removed from the syllabus due to the pandemic. So we are not going to answer any question based on it. We move to question number 3C. What should be the dimensions and the shape of the classrooms so that no echo can be produced there? What should be the dimensions, whatever you say, and the shape of the classrooms so that no echo can be produced there? So here you have to attempt the answer in two parts. One is the what should be dimensions and what should be the shape. So the first point is dimensions. You know that according to the condition or factor, the distance must be less than 17.2 meter. So your first factor you will write dimensions. Distance between the opposite walls in a classroom must be less than 17.2 meter so that the reflected sound returns to the observer within 0.1 second. That is regarding dimensions. And next is about the shape of the classrooms. Classrooms should have curved ceilings and walls so that the reflected sound is directed towards the observer within 0.1 second. Why 0.1 second they have mentioned everywhere? Because you know our brain retains a sound for 0.1 second, and thus if you want to hear a echo, the sound should take more than 0.1 second after starting from the source to get reflected and then come back to us. And so the 0.1 second should be mentioned everywhere. With here, now question number 4. Where and why are sound absorbing materials used? Where and why? First you have to answer where they are used. You know they are used in schools, they are used in auditoriums, they are used in concert halls. So that is the first part of the answer. Sound absorbing materials are used in school, auditorium, concert hall, cinema hall. Main is your houses. The houses where you stay in. You have curtains, you have furniture. These are all the sound absorbing materials. So this is the answer to the first part of the question, where they are used. Apart from this, search on the Google Net. This is the application based question. You will get n number of places where sound absorbing materials are used. There you can write on your own also. And why? Now the second part of the question we are answering. So if sound absorbing materials are not used, then sound will undergo multiple reflections leading to reverberation of sound. See the color which I have changed. Why I have changed? Because the color change means the main part of the answer. You know sound absorbing materials, they do not allow multiple reflections. They absorb the excess sound, and if such sound absorbing materials are not used, they have asked why they are used. Then the sound will undergo multiple reflections and then there will be the reverberation of sound which will not be desirable. Now we have completed up to question number 4. Numerical examples as usual we will keep towards the end. We are going to start with the next part, that is additional questions. We still have some amount of time left, so at least one additional question we will complete today. Keep your notebooks ready to jot down the additional questions. The first additional question is for 5 marks, very important. With the help of a neat label diagram, write a short note on sonar technique. The entire answer I will mark for you in the textbook. Keep your textbooks ready, jot down the question. Each and every additional question I want to see in your notebook. It should be completed in the notebook. Because if you see the textual questions, they are very less in amount. With the help of a neat label diagram, write a short note on sonar technique. Diagram is clearly given on page number 133. I don't want your artistic boats to be drawn. A very simple boat or a ship. Main, transmitter, receiver, waves and the arrow. If you are showing the transmitted pulse, then the arrow should be in the downward direction. If you are showing the reflected pulse, your arrow should be in the upward direction. That should be very important. So transmitter, receiver, transmitted pulse, reflected pulse, water, that labels are enough. Start marking page number 133 under the heading sonar. Sonar is the short form for sound navigation and ranging. Now here I have written all together. You have to write it point wise. It is used to determine the direction, distance and speed of an underwater object with the help of ultrasonic sound waves. Sonar has a transmitter and a receiver which are fitted on ships or boats. The transmitter produces and transmits ultrasonic sound waves. These waves travel through water, strike underwater objects and get reflected by them. The reflected waves are received by the receiver on the ship. Continue marking. The receiver converts the ultrasonic sound into electrical signals, and these signals are properly interpreted. The time difference between the transmission and reception is noted. This time and the velocity of sound in water gives the distance from the shape of the object which reflects the waves. And last, sonar is used to determine the depth of the sea, also used to search underwater hills, valleys, submarines, icebergs, sunken ships, etc. So the entire paragraph on page number 133 is in marked for you. Doesn't mean you have to write the as it is given. In short, you have to write, first you will write full form of sonar, then you will write that sonar makes use of a transmitter and receiver fitted on a ship. Then what is the use of transmitter, what is the use of receiver, how the calculation takes place here, that time difference and all this part, and then finally you have to write its use. So in 5 points you have to cover the answer. 5 marks, so diagram will carry 2 marks, and then how to manipulate that answer in 5 points depends on you. I have marked the entire thing, doesn't mean you have to write it as it is. Shorten the answer. Everything now I will not do for you. I will give you the main part of the answer. Shortening, making use of logic, making use of science concepts from the chapter is up to you. With this, we end with our today's session. The remaining additional questions and numerical examples for this chapter I will be providing in our next session. So till then, I request all of you, it is the very beginning. Don't keep your work piled up. Complete your notebooks. Tomorrow is Sunday. So just whatever we have completed, you complete your notebook. Thank you, dear children.